We turn now to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Senator, good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Senator, what's your response to the latest strikes in the Golan Heights?
Well, look, first we know that Iran, through its surrogates, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, is really the real evil in this area. Israel has every right to defend itself against Hezbollah like they do against Hamas. It shows you how bad Iran and its surrogates are. These were Arab kids they shot at. They don't care. They sent missiles at, and they don't even care who that is. But having said that, I don't think anyone wants a wider war, so I hope there are moves to de-escalate.
Sticking with the Middle East, Senator, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just in Washington. You were part of the formal bipartisan invitation to have him come to Washington. Yet there was video of you not shaking his hand when he was on the floor on Capitol Hill. Why not? Why did you not shake his hand?
Well, look, I went to this speech because the relationship between Israel and America is ironclad, and I wanted to show that. But at the same time, as everyone knows, I have serious disagreements with the way Benjamin Netanyahu has conducted these policies.
Your colleague and friend, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, tweeted this week. She said, Benjamin Netanyahu's presentation in the House chamber was by far the worst presentation of any foreign dignitary invited and honored with that privilege in American history. Do you agree with her assessment? And do you have any regrets at all about the invitation?
Look, no, as I've said, I wanted to show our ironclad commitment to Israel that transcends any one prime minister or any one president, no matter how much you might disagree with that prime minister.
Senator, on July 13th, you went to Delaware to meet with President Biden. It was a private discussion, and I know you like to keep your discussions with the president private, but that, for history, was a very momentous meeting in the sense of you were the Senate Democratic leader, the majority leader, meeting with the president to discuss the presidential race. For history, for the record, did you in any way suggest to the president that he should leave the presidential race on July 13th?
Well, first, let's look at President Biden's record. He's had one of the most amazing presidencies we've had in decades, passing so many good things. The infrastructure bill, the IRA bill, getting the price of prescription drugs down for the first time, going against the NRA successfully, helping our veterans with burn pits. So he's had an amazingly successful record. And he's always done what's right for America. And I respect him, I respect his patriotism, I respect the amazing things he's done. We worked together on many of them.
But just for history, though, what was your role, what was your intention with that meeting with him on July 13th?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but President Biden will walk away from the presidency with his head held high because of all the great things he's done and because he put America first. He always has.
Vice President Harris, now the presumptive nominee. Senator, are you encouraging Senate Democrats, including those in battleground states, to invite her to campaign with them, to have her in their advertisements?
Yeah, the Biden-Harris record is just incredible, as I mentioned. All the specific things that they have passed together working with us. So it's an incredible record, and our senators are already talking about it. They're, cutting ribbons at new bridges. They're bringing rural broadband. They're bringing broadband to rural areas. They're opening up new factories from chip fabs. So it's a great, great record, and it's helping our Senate candidates run on it. And let me just say one thing. Just compare that to the Republican record, to the Trump-Vance ticket. It's extreme. This Project 2025 shows it would take the rights away from women. It would take away rights of working people and help only the very wealthy. It would even be a threat to our democracy. And one more point about this, and that is the addition of J.D. Vance to this ticket. It's incredibly bad choice. I think Donald Trump, I know him, and he's probably sitting and watching the TV, and every day Vance, it comes out Vance has done something more extreme, more weird, more erratic. Vance seems to be more erratic and more extreme than President Trump. And I'll bet President Trump is sitting there scratching his head and wondering, why did I pick this guy? The choice may be one of the best things he ever did for Democrats.
What do you mean?
Now, the president has about 10 days before the Ohio ballot is locked in, and he has a choice. Does he keep Vance on the ticket, where he already has a whole lot of baggage? He's probably going to be more baggage over the weeks because we'll hear more things about him, or does he pick someone new? It's his choice.
Has Vice President Harris reached out to you about her vice presidential selection, and do you have a leading contender or two that you believe would be helpful? And Senator Kelly, your colleague, is one of the contenders we've reported. Are you confident that if he goes on the ticket, you can hold on to that seat in a few years in a special?
Well, let me say this. I have complete confidence that Vice President Harris will choose a top-notch ticket and a top-notch vice presidential candidate. We have a very strong bench. There are a lot of good choices. I have confidence in her choice.
Are you worried about the Senate majority? It's a narrow majority for you right now. What's your candid assessment about the Senate majority and Democratic chances?
My candid assessment is we're going to not only win the Senate, but we have a good chance to pick up a seat or two. Our candidates, our senators, are running on their records of accomplishment, and that's why they're running ahead of even the national ticket, because when they show all the good stuff we're bringing to their states through the infrastructure bill, through the CHIPS and Science bill with so many good new manufacturing jobs, through bringing broadband to rural areas for the first time, where rural areas desperately need it. You know, Franklin Roosevelt said in the 1930s electricity was a necessity and brought it to them. We're doing the same thing with broadband, which in the 21st century is a necessity.
Speaking about technology,
we
what
have
about
a great record to run on, and it's going to keep us in the majority.
Finally here, Senator, President Biden this week is going to make a push on the Supreme Court to reform the Supreme Court. What's really possible there? What's realistic? Give us your real view about whether this can happen this year in a bipartisan way.
Well, first, let's start off. The Supreme Court is a morass. First, it's an ethical morass. The idea that wealthy individuals, many of them right-wing, can both pay for cases before the court and at the same time give justices gifts or trips is outrageous. And frankly, Chief Justice Roberts isn't doing enough to curb it. But it's a morass in even a worse way. This is a MAGA right-wing court. It's already taken away the right to choose. It could very well go further on that. I fear it will. It's siding with the wealthiest of individuals and the powerful interests over the average working family. And it even threatens democracy when it says that a president can get immunity even for certain acts in the presidency. So this court is just a morass, both ethically and substantively.
Thank you, Senator Schumer. We appreciate your time.